Get that booger out of your nose, wipe your mouth, smile big, and we're gonna start coffee hours with Greg here on this happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. This is Dr. Greg McLeod from Elite Traders University with Coffee Hour here on the school, our school community. And so glad to be here with you. I've got my coffee, I've got my Kona blend coffee, Pip and Run coffee right here, ready to go, right? And it's always good. It's a breakfast of champions, like getting started with that. And so we're gonna have our open. This is our just open office hours where we can talk about the markets and talk about some things that we've got going on this weekend. We have a workshop. I'm very excited about our AI trading workshop, crypto investment workshop, and I've been talking about that for a while with my mentorship students and and um, and other people. And so we're going to actually use, you have a workshop where we're actually going to be talking about that. We're going to show people how to take their ideas, their trading ideas, and convert them into a bot using Chat GPT, some of the large language models out there. So there are a number of ways that we can get that done. We can do that with just talking it. We can show pictures. There's a lot of different ways that we can convey our ideas and get computers to get technology to trade for us. Why? So we can have more time. Trading is fun, trading is good, but sometimes the best trading opportunities happen when we are asleep, when we are maybe busy with family and friends or working. And so it'd be great to have a trading partner that is full time, that doesn't get sleepy, does not need coffee, does not take days off, doesn't get sick. So we'll talk more about that later. But just wanted to go ahead and see who's in the room. And I see Sean's in the room. Nice to see you, Sean. Always a pleasure to have you aboard. And let me go ahead and turn on the chat here if you are here. Okay, I see him here. Okay, on them, or is the chat? And then that way, okay, you can. I think that's what we have here. I'm also streaming this on YouTube as well, so it may be a little bit delayed if we decide to look at a chart or something or so. Let's cover some of the big news, some of the big headlines. We have big news. I mean, you look at Bitcoin reaching an all-time high, which is it's incredible how and anytime basically you guys got to realize that when when we talk about Bitcoin at an all-time high, we're basically saying that the dollar is dying because when you look at Bitcoin, most retail people look at Bitcoin, they look at BTC, they don't understand that there's an exchange of value when you have Bitcoin. What are you doing? If you want to buy Bitcoin, you have to sell dollar, right? So you're basically selling your dollars and you're getting Bitcoin. So what happens? The supply of dollars is going up. And we all know the basics of supply and demand, that when we have more of a supply of something, that it starts to go down. Just like we have dirt and dirt, if you heard the term dirt cheap, right? Because there's a lot of dirt, right? But gold is expensive because it's hard to find. You don't like see pieces of gold lying around. Hey, it's a piece of gold. If gold was around, I mean, there's a Bible scripture talking about the kingdom of Solomon, and Solomon was such a the kingdom under Solomon was so rich, and he was the richest king ever, that the gold and silver were like rocks. It was so abundant. The gold was so abundant that it was just like rocks. It was like everywhere, right? And so it would make it less valuable if it was that much gold, right? So can you imagine people buying Bitcoin and selling their dollars? Well, now you're going to have a dollar depreciation, and you're going to have a so Bitcoin. In fact, let me find trying to find a good you can use Coinbase, and I'll share a chart, but we can share a let's share screen three. Doesn't get much love. Okay, we can see that that we have look at this move just within the last couple of hours, several hours. This last several hours, price has we had a high. Our the high was 118,909.74 was the high. So I mean, we were at like 110, and we just rocketed. We basically had a basing pattern right here where we had like a flag going into the 4th of July holiday, and then bam, new high, right? That's pretty quick. We went from actually the 4th. This was July 4th, consolidation and break. And I've been telling people about that. In fact, one of my theories is that if you have something that's growing at roughly 44% per year, 44% per year for the last 5 years, what other investment on this planet is giving you 44%? I'm sure there's some ETF. I mean, even if you do an S&P, it's going to be 14. And if you do maybe a double leveraged ETF or a triple leveraged ETF, you're looking at 30%, right? With all the volatility, right? And I mean, there wasn't a smooth ride. I mean, this thing dropped down to like 97, right? And probably at 97, people were like panicking. The panicans got out, and then look at this shoot up right there, right? So a move from 97 to 119 is terribly huge. It's like, well, that's like a 40% move right there, right? Almost a 40% move. So 40% in roughly what 20 days. So with that type of return, um, you start questioning whether or not now, are we gonna will people kind of like figure out that if real estate gives like 8%, S&P gives you 14%, why am I investing in that when I can just invest in Bitcoin, which basically has all upside? It has all the criteria of being a very, very um of being a very good investment, where we have restriction of supply. They're not making any more Bitcoin. In fact, they say by 2030, you know, that's all the Bitcoin they're going to make. That's all, beep, 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 that's all, folks, right? No more Bitcoin. So what happens? You've got this fixed circulation of supply, right? And then you're going to have, and you have institutional buyers like BlackRock, like Vanguard, like Fidelity, Schwab. They say if every person at Schwab got one Bitcoin, Bitcoin will be over $1 million a coin, right? So what does that mean? It means that, well, you're gonna have you're looking at a tenfold or 10 times return from where we are. So if you think it's too high now, I thought it was too high at 9,000. I had it at 750, and I doubled my money, I tripled my money, and and I told my daughter, she goes, "Yeah, right." He's like, "But I did. I got 300%." She goes, "Big deal." It's like it didn't really phase her. And imagine all the Bitcoin that's gone through my hands, you know, we wouldn't be talking right now. I'll be on the beach, right? Yeah. All right, but it's still not too late. Really, it's not too late. Because I have, in fact, I have a Bitcoin plan. If you go ahead and email me at the or go, we're in school, so DM message me Moon Moon. Message me on School for those of you who are on School, and I'll give you my playbook for Bitcoin investing. Okay. Um, Not crypto investing, because I made the mistake thinking, okay, I missed the Bitcoin train when it was like $5,000 a coin. I'm going to look at altcoins. And I think altcoins was, for me personally, I'm sure there's people who are, don't bad mouth the altcoins, Greg. I've got blah 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 blah. Believe me, I did ICOs. I've bought a bunch of other coins, believing in their projects, believing in all their hype. And I probably, if I've taken the money that I put in altcoins, probably 25 to $50,000 in altcoins, thinking, I was following. I just forgot his name right now, but he used to have the colored boards and all the different ICOs. Um, there was a African gentleman, very smart, very articulate, and he had a very good, way of picking. That was always pumping up. He was always in it before anyone else, and then, you know, and if he was in it, then everyone would jump into it. I don't know. I can't remember his name. Maybe Sean, you know it, but he would, yeah. And so I would follow him and I would get all these coins and they're worthless. They're like 0.00001 cent, right? So if I took the 5,000 that I got into an ICO, put that 5,000 in Bitcoin or 2,000 in Bitcoin, and each time I bought these coins, Tron, I have tons of Tron, worthless, right? Um, ARG, that was another coin, Pirate Chain coin. So if you take those coins and you took all the money that I put in altcoins and I just bought Bitcoin, just bought Ether or Bitcoin, buy the majors, buy the strongest of the best of breed, um, and and then I'm known for short-term scalping. In fact, I spent 30 years as a trader and 10 years as a currency analyst and strategist in one of the world's largest forex broker dealers in the world. And so holding on to anything for a long period of time has always been, there's been so many stories of whether it's Enron, Sean and I probably grew up with Enron, MCI, companies that value jet, that high flying Yahoo, high flying stocks that if you held on to them, which I did hold on to some of those, and they blow up, right? Um, they were high flyers or high momentum stocks, but you had to know when to bail. So when you had something like Bitcoin, this is probably just like one of them, right? High flyers, everyone's touting them. I remember when one of the internet analysts, Henry Blodgett, said that Yahoo was going to go to $1,000 a share, and I had options, and I had made like $300,000 in options. I took 15,000 to $300,000 in options, and then got back in again, cashed out, was out, got back in because of his Mary Meeker and Henry Blodgett, the internet analysts. I think they got sued and for touting, and that I wasn't using charts. I was just using just hot tips, right, in the AOL chats. And so wound up losing a ton of money holding. So I have PTSD when it comes to holding anything long term. So so well, Greg, you're only short term trading, scalping, and it's so risky. It was risky for me holding on to anything, and I have lost a great deal of money. I made a ton of money being short term. I have made no money holding long term. Probably the longest thing that I've held that I'm proud of that I made money on was I held on to Merck. I had 55 contracts of Merck. I didn't hold it long enough. I mean, I got a double out of it. Made like 25 or $30,000 on it. But it went up during the COVID. It went up to I think I got in at a $70 call, so it got to 111 or 112. My wife held. my wife is not in front of the computer, and that was the best thing for her because she didn't watch it all the time, and so I had leaps, so I didn't care. But I was still watching. I was day trading leaps, okay, right? Um, but I was able to get in at 70, get out like maybe 80, maybe 90, but it went up to like 114 or something like that, right? Alibaba was another one I got in like a 50. Those are like options. Like they're so slow compared to Forex. So I have, I'm not saying that I'm 100%. I'm like 99.9% scalping short term because of what I went through as a trader and seeing stuff happen back in 87. I was working at Bank of America at 80, the 87 crash. I was at Bank of America. So I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot I was 2008, I was on the trading desk when I got a mysterious phone call, a hot tip, right? Just like you see on that show, The Industry. You get those. You really do get those. Bank of America is going to go to zero. Things are. I'm like going. It's $50 right now. Nothing's going on. I don't know what you're talking about. Goodbye. Oh my God! It just dropped. Oh, I mean, I was like, so who's that? Some hack saying that Bank of America is going to crash. It started crashing like 5 minutes after the phone call. It was incredible. And spreads were widening out. The financial crisis had started. Bear Stearns melted down. Lehman Brothers is in trouble. And I'm watching bars drop down through, like Dell was our monitor. The word Dell, price was going through Dell, through the floor, through the monitors. There's straight red lines on all these charts, no matter what it was. And then the spreads were widening out. They're like 800 pip wide spreads on euro. I mean, just everything was going crazy. Phones were ringing everywhere. People were wiped out. It was very so you so me buying and holding. In fact, our pip and run motto is this. It's like, why buy and hold? Probably can't read it. It's like, why buy and hold when you can pip and run, right? So that is my DNA, right? That's where I come from. My frame of reference, why I scalp, right? Why I don't like hanging around. But in this case, in the Bitcoin case, there is always an exception to the rule. Nothing's 100%. And so I really had to like hammer in, just do the logic of like going, if something is giving you 40% returns, especially if you're 50 years old. It's like compounding. I was watching a famous, I'm not gonna mention his name, but famous motivational speaker guy. He has workshops and stuff. He goes, "Oh yeah, you could be a millionaire in so long, blah blah blah. Just be 17 years old and start putting $200 away and S&P indexes and compounding. And by age 55, you'll be worth 1.3 billion, blah blah blah." Okay. It's like, you know what? I am not 17 and the power of compounding is not going to work. So the average person hearing that, was kind of like one of those clickbait things, how to make, $3 million in the next 10 years or something like that. And it turns out that you had to be 17 first, right? To take advantage of the compounding. So if you are in your 50s, you gotta look for, um, you gotta go higher on the risk scale. But you don't have the thing about being on the higher on that risk scale is that you don't have if you lose, you don't have the time to make that back up, right? You can't just go back to work and start making that back up because it took you all those years just to get maybe 30, $40,000. You have about the average person in their 50s has about $40,000 in their IRA, which is, you got 10 years of work left and you probably need about $3 million in order to retire comfortably. And Social Security is supposed to be insolvent by 2045 or something like that, or 2035. So the it looks pretty bleak if you are, over 50, right? Or, over 40 if you haven't put away, because your job was unstable, COVID happened, maybe you got sick, you know, all these things. I hear all these stories all the time. Oh, oh no, you didn't. Oh my God, Shiraj, how did you? I'm not gonna say it because I mentioned this person's name. And someone said, "Well, you show me how much $1 million have you made?" Blah 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 blah. They get so defensive about people that these people become their gods. So I don't ever mention this person's name. I can't believe you guys picked it up exactly. I'm not going to acknowledge it because someone's going to come on and well, you're not. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, just, but the thing about it is it's disingenuous because if you're 50, you're not 17, and your information is worthless. You know, I do respect the guy. He has changed lives. I have his books. I think he's great. I just think that he should stay in his lane, and his lane is what it is, right? Motivational speaking, uplifting people. And because of that value he created, he's a multimillionaire, right? He's a multimillionaire. He's not a multimillionaire. I don't know, but I'm saying he may not be a multimillionaire because of his great trading ability, his knowledge of technical analysis, his knowledge of investments. He's just a very valuable person who offers a great value to people. And because of that, he is rich because of that. Okay. So would be more ingenuous would say, you know what? I'm an influencer. I encourage people. I help people achieve and become their best person, right? And because of that, I am rich, right? And so if you want to do the same thing, you invest in people's lives, and I'll show you a blueprint how to create an empire based on motivational speaking and transformation because the world is screwed up, so everybody needs this, right? There should be no shortage of that guy, right? Which I'm not going to mention his name, right? Because that's how he made his money. He didn't make his money from, you know, because why? Because just think about it. If he was 17 and he did this, he would be a motivational speaker, right? And I have a student that dropped out of school because he learned how to pip and run. And that's one of the videos, right? In fact, he's got this beautiful, he lives in this beautiful tall skyscraper in Austin, Texas, and we were like having lunch, and he looked out the window. I mean, this vast, you look down at the Capitol. You're in this. You can look down at the clouds. You can see the river. Beautiful, beautiful view. You probably see me put pictures up. And he goes, oh, I want to go to that school. I think I'm going to go to that school. I'm like going, what do you mean go to that school? You're 39 years old. He's not 30. He's 30 years old now. And why I thought you were in school when I met you. You were 19 when you started trading with me. He reached out to me online and said, "Hey, sir, can you teach me how to trade?" I'm like, "Go away, kid. You bother me, right?" Like, and so he goes, "No, no. When I was making $10,000 a day, I dropped out." I go, "What? You did? No." It's like I'm a teacher. I taught middle school, high school, and of course, teachers want to see you complete your education and be get your degree and work at a good company. I mean, I've still got that teacher, secure kind of thing going on. So when he told me that, he goes, "Oh yeah, I didn't want to tell you." It's like you just, this is 2020 21. you know, I, this is 10 years out. You kept the secret from me for 10 years. It's like, I thought you graduated. He said, then you paid off your student loans. Yeah, I paid off my student loans, but I didn't graduate. Oh, you paid off your student loans but didn't graduate. Okay, that's cool. So he went back, which is so he went to UT Austin. My daughter, it was enrolled in UT Austin at the same time. Their graduation was the same day. John and Krista graduated the same day. So I was like, my God, it's like my son graduated from, I mean, it's just such a weird And he moved down from Canada, moved to Texas, and graduated from UT Austin with a business degree this time, right? His degree that he was working on was math. So very, this is very interesting how things, but and he was 19. Well, guess what? He he dropped out because of trading and started, building his multi-million dollar empire that way and use it to fund other things. He has other companies as well. So yeah, so if you click on something and you're 50, then it doesn't speak to you. And so when I actually mentioned that, I got attacked. It's like, oh, but and, because people are illogical, right? Um, so my thing is that trading and investing and is the best way that people over 50 can make up for those lost years. Because with Social Security in the state that it's in, um, and what are you going to do? And AI has painted a target. It sure has this crazy story about the school dropout. Yeah, yeah, it's and then in fact he's got a we yeah, he came out. There's an interview on my YouTube channel where he flew out and we did a video, follow-up video, uh, which is pretty cool, right? And I went to his wedding, which is really cool. Went to the Four Seasons Hotel. They had lobster and filet mignon, which is pretty nice. And we've gone out to dinner, and he'll throw out his black card. It's like, yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, I know because honestly, you see the scams and things online. 90% and basically, you get these disclaimers, and it's true. 80% or 90% of all traders fail. Especially they fail like their first year. And why do they fail? That's statistics. You go to any brokerage. So, but it's like anything, right? You got kids that want to be football players, right? They'll play, they'll practice, they'll go to Saturday camps, and you'll spend all this money on the camps, and you'll get the jerseys and the coaching, and and then they either get hurt or they don't make the cut, and then what, right? It's like that with anything. It's everything's a pyramid, guys, right? So I know people say, well, the odds of being a successful trader are really low. It's like, the odds of doing anything in life is low, right? Unless you get up off your butt and do something, right? The odds of getting accepted to UCLA, which is a school I went to, very low, right? And to be black, I mean, they only have 2% of the black, not to be racial, but it's true. There's only 2% of the population of UCLA is black, right? So to be black, to get to UCLA and have grades, right? And I didn't get on, I'm not an athlete. I couldn't throw a football. I can't dance. I can't sing, can't rap, but to actually pass the SAT, get through the SAT, get through the interview process or the essay process, and to be accepted and be an English major, on one of the top schools in the top number one public educational institution in the country, right? Um, that's what are the odds? None of my friends went to UCLA. None of my daughters had better GPAs than me, and they didn't get into UCLA, right? They applied. They've got the UT Austin. UT Austin is a very good school, and Prairie View is an excellent school, and they go to excellent schools. And in fact, my one of my twin daughters got accepted to um, UC Santa Barbara, which is my wife's alma mater, UC Santa Barbara, and the other one got accepted to UC San Diego. But UCLA, no legacies or anything like that. So what are the odds? I mean, and that was the only school I applied to. I said I'd drop out. I'll drop out before I even got in. Unless I was one shot, one trigger, one shot, one bullet. I applied to one school. If I didn't get in, then that was that. And so it wasn't, EOP or anything like that didn't work for me. Because I had a 3.6. I had but 3.6 GPA, 3.6 GPA, and 1020 SAT. Not the greatest, but for an African American from South Central LA, that was Einstein. Okay, but it was but again, like Shiraz said, people leave as soon as things start getting hard, right? But that's the nature of the beast. But any people bash trading and bash it because they figure that the odds are so low. But the odds of going to Harvard are low. The odds of the odds of playing professional basketball is low. But that doesn't stop people from trying, right? It doesn't stop people from trying. But you got to be able to come up with a game plan to do it, right? Because merely saying I want to be a football player, or I want to go to UCLA, or I want to go to Harvard, or I want to be in the NFL, you just can't. I want to be a singer. I want to be, you know, too much of what's going on now. We see people in prop trading firms, and they're just feeding this money, thinking that all I gotta do is hit one big trade, maybe like getting long here and passing the challenge. Now what, right? Now what? You got in, but can you stay in, right? And having a system, being able to have a system, right? If you don't have a system, a strategy, and a mentor or a coach, my daughter made it to the Plano West golf team in high school, and I thought, okay, great, she's good to go. But golf is a very expensive sport. The clubs, the uniforms, the shoes, the you know, and not only that, you have to have a coach. I go, well, aren't you the coach? It's like, no, each girl has her own coach, and that's $150 an hour. So okay, we got to get a swing coach. Then we got a short game coach, right? And so that's $300 in additional, plus the fees for the club. I guess for the high school our green fees were paid, but you had to have a coach. You had to. It wasn't like you're gonna walk up there and start swinging some balls and think you're gonna golf. Tiger Woods has swing coach. Tom Brady had a quarterback coach. Whitney Houston, Beyonce has a voice coach. Like Beyonce can sing, she has a voice coach. So many of these professions and many of the CEOs, high performing CEOs, have mentors and coaches. And it's I think, very foolish and very, you know, just, I would just say, someone thinking that they can, in fact, I did a breakthrough strategy call. Usually I have a breakthrough strategy call to see, we opened up doors periodically for Elite Traders University to allow people to come in. And I actually had someone who was, and their doctors or lab coats, and they were in a laboratory and they were doing their breakthrough strategy call at the lab, right? And lab guys don't make a lot of money, I mean, and it was a research lab. He was researching communicable diseases. Okay, so he was actually working on some COVID stuff, right? I didn't want to know anything about that stuff. And so he goes, and I basically tell him, what the investment is, and he goes, "Oh, that, I mean, I can just learn on my own." I go, "So, oh yeah, that's like me telling you what you're doing back there with those test tubes. I can put on a white coat and start mixing some stuff together and develop a cure for COVID, right?" So no, 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 because you have to go to school and you have to learn. You have to learn. It's exactly the way of trading, right? You have to be trained. You have to be trained. Yeah, there's some natural people out there, but you're not one of them, right? It's just like in football. There's some guys that are naturally can throw a spiral. There's some natural, but natural stuff only gets you so far. You have to have a process. You have to have someone who's been there before, who has walked the walk, who's done it, who can walk you through. And as some of the students that I have, and have had some tremendous results. They have had, if we go into the school community, you know, I mean, you had like Janie, and Sean knows Janie, right? And I'll start with Jamie, right, right there. Okay, yeah. So winner's circle highlight. Jamie crushes, you know, and people. Well, I want proof. I want proof. Well, there's proof right there, right? He has he has several Apex accounts, and he's passed the challenge. I have a number of my students, they have passed the prop trading challenges, right, on Apex, and they and so I mean, that's what they and so the program for stage 4 in the ETU is for people to get into prop, work with Jamie, and then what they do is hook up multiple accounts, right? So not just one, but you can use a program. You can use any type of yeah. You can use any type of connector API which connects your trading platform to a multiple Apex accounts, right? So when you press the button on one, you get filled on many, right? Sometimes there's latency, and sometimes you'll get a difference in price. So it's like some of these have the same price but different accounts, right? Same price but different accounts because why? He's controlling it from a centralized account, right? So again, we have many traders who have passed many of these of these Apex challenges, whether it's Apex or the funded trader, you know, um, yeah, the funded trader. We had one, my Forex funds, and even Surge Trader when it first came out. But I mean, when Surge Trader first came out, I mean, we had our, we had people passing that as well, right? And yeah, people say, well, you know, well, well, how long do they have their accounts? They blow up their. I'm sure some of them blew up their accounts, of course, right? But some of them have kept their accounts. I don't keep track of that. But the thing about it is, where are you now? Can you get to where you need to go? Can you even get their foot in the door? Robert Lopez, right? Yeah. Okay. So Robert, and this is when we had Skype back in the day, right? And so Robert, uh, I mean, we had guys from 2022, like when it first started. This guy basically he paid half down for the course. He didn't have the money for the other half. I said, fine, we have a payment plan for him. And then I said, okay, fine. Now that was July. And then, like within a month, he wound up paying the other half off. He's a single dad from Houston. Robert's a single dad from Houston. His wife passed away, left him with the kids, and he didn't have anybody to help him with the kids. So he's got these kids. He's trying to run a real estate business, but then he looked at trading. And so what he did was this: uh, he he wanted to pay me back in full. And I said, "What? How did you do that? I thought you didn't have any money." He goes, "Oh, I was trading." I ain't going, "Well," and then he showed me this. He had 47,802 as a profit. And I go, how do you do that? He says, NASDAQ, you had like 14,000 there and 15,000. I know it's hard to read, 1,600, 1,300. And this is when we were on Skype. Skype has gone away, but I wound up saving some of these conversations, right? And he had some NASDAQ, he was NAS 100. Anyway, 47,000. And so I asked him about this. He says, I'm just sharing this with you to show you it works. This is my funded account, so I only get to keep 80%. But I did this morning. I did this morning. I did this morning, right? So I, I just taught him pip and run because we even before this, like 2020 or 2019, I don't know, Sean, if you remember, I used to fund traders, right? We used to take traders and give them we would take our fund profits and we would fund traders because we didn't have. When I worked for the brokerage, we had something called Prop FX. FXCM has something called Profit FX, where we funded profitable traders, and it didn't last. I said, man, it'd be cool to do that again. And I was seeing some of the returns that my students were getting. They were getting, my God, they were going 100% returns, 110, 120% returns, right? Um, so I started funding some of them, right? And the typical things would happen. They run the accounts up pretty good, and then the inevitable thing would happen is that they would blow up, right? And that's why I developed the stage system. Stage one is simulation, so we practice in a simulator, not a demo account, a simulator. So people will develop unconscious competency through and through spaced repetition, but PDR, practice, drill, rehearse. So they're practicing and drilling till they have a win rate of 90% and above. Okay. Because I figured what was going on was there was a psychological thing that people were not consistent, right? Where they would do really well in demo, really well, and then when they transition to live, they get nervous or freeze up, and then they would wind up losing money, right? And that's a common thing, right? So I said, what's happened is that people don't have enough seat time. So to try to counteract that, we use a simulator to get all those bad trades out of you, right? And to develop good habits. And so the goal of the KPI is that students are to get uh, a, a a win rate of 90% average with a drawdown less than 5% over a period of 14 days on average, right? 14 days on average. So that's the KPI. That's what I try to get people to do, and then for them to get to the next level, right? They can't go to the next level unless they actually complete that process. And so when we did that, then people were able to move to demo account, right? So this is right. So this is the example. This is Rudy's. Rudy also passed prop, right? So so this elite trade. This is our trade tracking sheet, right? So you put your date. Usually you take between 6 and 10 trades, 100% win rate. The drawdown. Usually our drawdowns are low, like 0.4%, right? And then 43% ROI. So it figures it out for you. You put your what you started with, starting balance, closing balance, number of trades, and your drawdown, right? And so you just log it in. And after you do that, and it figures out the average. So it's 96.83% for the first week. And then I say, congratulations, you did it. And then now you move on and you get a certificate of completion, right? We give them a certificate of completion, and they can move on to the next level, right? So the certificates, they can see all the people who've basically, they passed either stage one or stage two or stage three, right? So this is like the pre-certificate before they go to prop, right? And then they move on to prop. But we've got lots of happy people who have completed that stage one process, which is pretty cool because they don't believe it. They don't believe they can get 90% win rate. And I see people posting in school that things are fake, blah, 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 blah. It's just you don't know. I've been doing this for 30 years. And the stuff that I've seen people take $800 to like 5 million. I've seen people take $5,000 to $4 or $5 million. They're, it's just, that's why Elite Traders University is different. If I didn't have a unique value proposition, a UVP, then I have nothing to offer, right? But what makes me different is I'm not IVS or any of that other stuff that's already out there because Pip and Run is nowhere else. It is my baby. I created it. I developed it for 20 years. So it's unique that no one else has this, right? It's not like, I don't know, ICT. Well, guess what? There are about 100, probably 1,000 other ICT people. I don't know what ICT is. I don't even know what ICT stands for. I mean, I can barely spell ICT. Okay. I hear about it. My students mention, we about ICT. I go, I don't know. I only knew Pip and Run. I've been doing Pip and Run since 2005, right? So I don't know what this other stuff is. If you got something good, I just never researched anything else, right? Order blocks. I might mess with supply and demand zones a little bit, only because the guys I studied, you know, H.M. Gartley invented supply and demand zones back in 1933. So if it's classical from the 1930s up to the 1980s, I know about it because that's what Pip and Run is composed of, that the old time tested things from the founders of technical analysis, like the Gerard Appels, who invented moving average convergence divergence. And you had Wells Wilder, who invented RSI and ATR. You have guys like George Lane, who invented stochastics and stochastics RSI. Uh, so you've got these guys. You have Larry Pesavento with cycles, H.M. Gartley with the Gartley patterns from the 1930s, right? I know Wyckoff, but those guys actually borrow from Wyckoff. When I look at Wyckoff stuff, I'm like, going, well, I can see where Ralph Nelson Elliott, and the Elliott wave, right? So those are the things I studied, and when creating Pip and Run. So anything else after that, I have no clue, right? And because I start getting results right away, so it's like, why, right? Um, so there, if you go online, there's about 10 different ICT guys, different order block guys, there's all this other stuff out there. Uh, but there's no Pip and Run guys. The only Pip and Run guy that's really like certified is Jamie, right? So that's what makes it unique. And as I was saying in the blog article, that usually when systems become super popular, they stop working. Because if everyone sees the same thing, then what happens is it decreases the value. You have to have trading is about people being on the wrong side of the trade, right? If everyone's on the same side of the trade, nothing moves. You have losers pay winners, and you have to have losers, right? There has to be someone on the wrong side of the trade. So if everyone is doing the same thing, the system actually breaks. That's when the system breaks down. So you think, oh, it's popular. Everyone, it's not a beauty contest. This is not an election or a beauty contest. The more people that vote for something does not mean that it's going to work, right? And it's usually an order imbalance. There's more sellers than buyers, right? And then actually more sellers than buyers, things actually go up, right? Because you got so many people on the wrong side of the trade, they got to cover their shorts, they got to buy their position back, and then they send the price going the other way, right? Against them, right? There's stops. Forex is a stop-driven market. Well, most markets are stop-driven, and they use the news, they use the media, they use tweets to talk their book to get people on the wrong side, right? They'll say how bad Tesla is or how bad XYZ is so they can get into it cheap. And once they get on the cheap, then they'll say, oh, wow, we were all wrong, and then it goes up, right? So it's a common practice in Wall Street. And so popularity is the bane, or it's the death knell. If everybody's in it, that's when it's usually going in the wrong direction. So you got to look at, maybe even looking at, we have something in the My Market Heat Map called sentiment. When you see people on the wrong side of the trade, or if you have an opinion, you maybe want to check this out. And, My Market Heat Map is a pretty powerful tool. I mean, like we have our, Aussie dollar yen at the top of the heat map. Okay, we have different things here, right? Let's go to trading tools. We can go to sentiment, and we can actually see, you know, where the dumb money is. In fact, we used to call it the dumb money index when we worked in the brokerage, right? And you can see 70% of the people are long Aussie. while 29% are short. Now, if you're a retail person, you say, oh man, everyone's long, let me get in long, right? And if you get long, you're probably in underwater right now, right? The shorts are making money, right? So you look at this, how people are positioned, right? And you can see, in fact, I think you can look at instruments, right? Let's look at Bitcoin. Uh, that's USD BTC, right? Or BTC USD, right? It's in order by name. Or we can just okay, we can switch the it's alphabetized by the last, and we go, there we go. Okay. Now we can go alphabet. See, now it's AB, BTC, 67%. Oh, are long. Okay. This is interesting here where we're making new highs with everyone. The sentiment is very, very strong north, right? 32.99 people are short. Shorts are getting crushed, right? Occasionally this doesn't work, right? You get institutional buyers and stuff like that. But I would be kind of cautious at these levels when you have so many people long and not many people short. We could usually indication of a possible big pullback, right? But looking for these imbalances in different trading instruments is one thing to look at, right? But like I said, people don't believe it, but it doesn't really matter. Jesus turned water into wine and they nailed him to a cross, right? And they shot Martin Luther King. So my goal is really not to convince everyone that they should join Elite Traders University. Why? Because our edge is everyone being on the wrong side of the trade. So that's really cool. Now, Nanette, here is Nanette. She's one of my Pippin runners too. And I'll give you a peek on what we do in teams, right? Our stage. Now she's stage 2. She's in stage 3, right? But what happened was she blew up, right? So she came back to stage 2 and went to demo, right, to get her feedback, right? And so this is that's her, right? One loss, right? So it's just getting back in the swing of things because there's a book by Marty Schwartz called Pit Bull, and in that book, he was a trader, but he's a real panicky trader. He trades by phone. He had a system that uses the S&P or the bond market close to figure out where the S&P was going to go the next day, but occasionally he would get freaked out by news. So anytime there was like bad news, he would sell everything, he would turn everything into gold, call his wife. He says, no, Angie, hey, the market's crashing. Sell everything we have and put it into gold. Meet me at the airport, right? Because, his family survived the Holocaust. And so anytime they see something crazy, like different things going on, whether it's a war or a revolution or something in the news, he would liquidate everything, put it in a suitcase, and then he would fly to Mexico or fly somewhere else, right? Now he did that several times in the book, which is kind of funny. But they said that if he did never liquidate it and he stayed in the market, he would have made so much more money. But one of the things I learned in that book was called, I'll find it for you. I'm gonna go to Amazon. You probably, it may be out of print, but I think I read it to you guys as a my bedtime story, one of bedtime stories of Greg, right? It was called Pit Bull Marty Schwartz. That's why right. Oh yeah. Oh, I love technical analysis books. They go up in value. I bought that book. It's like it's $50 now, right? Oh, the paperback's $12.69. Well, what he would do is if he had a losing day or a losing week, he'd go, I gotta go pencil to paper, pencil to paper. So he would actually paper trade. So maybe you've heard the term paper trade. Back then, they actually used paper to trade, right? And it's real simple. Maybe they looked at IBM and he put down IBM and the price that it is and the price he would have bought it at. So if IBM was trading at like 109, and then he held it for 3 days, on Wednesday, bought on Monday for 109, and then on Thursday, if it's like 120, well, then plus 11. He would have closed it out. He would have made money, right? All you got to do is look at what the day was that you the price that you bought it, and what the price was after a period of time. Maybe he held it for a week, right? And that's how you paper traded back then. You wrote down with the where you bought it and where you sold it. And so he would paper trade. And once he did paper trading for about a week, he'd go back to live trading, right? He says he had lost his touch when he started losing. So he stopped live trading and did paper trading, right? Now, we have demo accounts. So all the calculations and things we uh, we can paper trade with our computers and our laptops and our cell phones. We can actually go to a broker like Ox or something, and we can open up a we can open up a we can open up an account. We can open up a demo account, right? We can go here and we can open up. Okay. Well, so yeah, so you can open up well a brokerage. You can open up a demo account, right? And then practice. See, try demo, right? Well, I've already got my demo account, right? So you can open up a demo account and practice, right? And then when you practice with that account, right, you can develop that get your touch back with the market because it's a live market, right? You know, but again, working on the emotions, the fear and greed, and your attachments to money, because many of us have a lot of attachments to money. Money doesn't grow on trees, and what do you think I'm made out of money, or we can't afford that. So if we look at money, money is just our inventory. We're in business like selling rugs or selling cans of tuna. We've got an inventory. If we have no inventory, we can't sell it. We use money to buy and sell to get more money, right? And so if you treat it like a commodity that you're buying and selling, like your inventory, well, then you kind of lose that emotional attachment. It's much like going to a casino, and guess what? You can bet with cash, but what they do is they convert your cash into a what? A token, right? They convert it to a chip, right? A blue chip, a red chip, a black chip, but the chip is plastic or some type of material. It has no emotional charge because when you have a $20 bill or $100 bill, there's all kinds of emotions that can be triggered off of money, real money. So to get those emotions out, they give you tokens, right? Representations of the money, so you won't have that connection. You can sit there for hours at a time. You can throw some in, go all in, double down, do whatever you want to do, throw them around, give it to a cocktail waitress, right? You're a lot more freer when you are not aware of all the connections that money has that can interfere with um your ability to trade, right? And if you are having that trouble, maybe we have a number of things, resources here on our Elite Traders University schoolroom. If you come to our classroom, we have our Forex Baby Pips course. I wish we had our beautiful uh, thumbnails. Our thumbnails are gone, but this is great. There are 16 videos if you're just getting started with trading, and they're very short, like commercials, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 45 seconds, almost like multiplication rock or grammar rock, right? So it's a great way of learning, getting started. Then to take it to the next level, we have the Forex Foundations course. These are just 10 of the 80 videos that we have. We give you 10 of those to give you a nice foundation. The other 70 are in our paid school group. I'll show you about that, right? But then we also give you a strategy to actually trade the markets. It's developed by one of my students, Svetlana, and I know Sean knows Svetlana. She developed this opening range breakout strategy that Samurai Sword, and normally this was like a $500 course, $750 course, and that's for free as well. And the Forex Foundations course was like $2,400, right? But if you need more, you might want to go up to our paid school group where you might need um, some some psychological or trading psychology help. And then if you go here to our classroom, well, then we have a number of things here. I don't. Oh yeah, the winning circle mindset trading, right? And so we have by our and Sean knows him. We're our resident pip and runner and certified hypnotherapist, Hal Weinshank, uh, the trader's mindset, abundance mindset, and our abundance mindset bonus session. And I did this as a great course for teaching you meditation techniques and focus techniques. And that's included. And this was a $1,000 $997 course that we offered, and we're offering that as part of our $19 upgrade to Elite Traders University, our paid group. So that's powerful if you're an advanced trader and you need some support. Then we have this great mindset series in the Elite Traders University paid group, right? And then also the Dragon Slayer course, very powerful course developed by one of my students who traded over like $78 million. And I asked that you need to take your version of Pip and Run and adapt it. Show us what you adapted. In fact, this is his. I took a screenshot of his account. Right, I go, okay, it's live, and I go, oh, okay, is that $78,000? He goes, no. I go, is it $780,000? No. I go, comma. This is a 700. This is a $78 million account. I go, where'd you start with? He said, you started with 300,000, right? And that's his live account. So that's this course here. Again, $19. You can't beat this deal with a stick, right? Um, and then we have the rest of the Forex Foundations course. You just kind of repeated this here, or the other courses aren't here. The freshman is here, right? And oh, there they are. The other ones are here, right? Sophomore, right? We have candlestick charting, economic news, just lots of different topics, all arranged in 4 different modules. Excellent. Junior candlesticks, trading the news, right? And our senior, we go into Fibonacci, Elliott waves, Fibonacci theory, harmonics, some of the Gartley harmonics that we talked about as well. So there's lots of great resources here to help you become to sharpen your tools and become a better trader. So that's what we have offered now. Now for this Saturday, we are doing our Pip and Run AI course, where we're actually going to learn how to scalp using to unlock the blueprint, our trading potential blueprint with AI. And so that I'm doing a workshop on that. And you can see that we've had some really great results with, trading results may vary. We're going to talk about the AI trading, using AI, using ChatGPT, using Grok, using the large language models to create an alert system with AI. And also, I'm going to include the Bitcoin investment mastery, how to invest with Bitcoin moving forward. So it'll be video modules, a training plan, indicator setups, and a number of things there. And so if you're interested in that, you can click the link and you can, we have you can you can either do Zelle, wire transfer, Western Union 994, half price if you want to use a credit card, debit card. It's 50% more with a credit card, debit card. But if you're interested in joining the AI Pip and Run course, then I'll go ahead and drop the link here in this. There you go. There you go. Cult leader vibe. I love that group, the Cult. I love that song. Sanctuary. The word. So there are our AI training course. We're gonna cut the screen time, build more confidence with AI. I know we didn't talk much about it. I'm running out of time, but you can unlock trading potential with AI, Forex, and the crypto blueprint. And we're going to be using the simple scripts. You don't have to have any coding experience at all. We're going to walk you through it. We're going to create code, drop it in MT4, MT5, or TradingView, and we're going to create scripts for some of the different entry strategies. Right? Let's cut the rope. You want this is Jamie, guys. You guys want to talk about Jamie? He says, "Hey, how are you, PDR?" Oh my God, I didn't even see all your comments there. This is the famous Jamie, guys. Jamie. Thank you for top of the loop in there. That's Jamie, guys. Jamie, I've been featuring you because he's our leader of our New York session, and boy, does a fantastic job. I mean, he's the myth, the legend. In fact, right where I just did something. I did an article on you. This is you, right, Jamie? Are you in the VIP? Are you in the Skype room? If you're not, oh, yeah, bro. I'm trying to talk you up, bro. Uh, I'm I want you to talk about that with that article. Let me go ahead and give you the link. I'm glad you're here. All right, invite, copy link, copy invitation link. Where are you? Jamie. Oh man, can't find you. Okay. I have to find you. When I type you in, here we go. I found you in Teams. Okay. Click the link and jump in. Jump on the call if you can. Okay. Did you see the link? Are you in the room? This is a real treat, guys. Did you check check your messages? Ah, there we go. There he is. There he is. Where is he? Okay. I don't looking for him. Ah. Oh. Hey man, unmute your mic.
Hey, sir, how you doing?
Doing good, Jamie, and you? Cut the rope.
Good, good, sir. I can't complain. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Blessed and highly favored like you, brother.
Yes. Hey, man. Hey.
Yes. This is coffee. This is our coffee school group. I do this at noon Eastern time, kind of like talk about the markets and things like that. And we create a school.
Hey,
Remember, we talked about this a while ago, right?
you cut the rope. Good, good, sir. I can't complain. How are you?
There's an echo. You might want to mute. You want to mute YouTube.
Hey, man. Hey. Yes.
This is coffee. This is our coffee school group. I do this at noon Eastern time. Hey, cut. And things like that, and we create a. You want to mute? Yeah,
I
you
can hear
want me?
you.
Oh, yeah, mute the YouTube right
Yeah,
now.
here we go. All right. Sorry about that.
I'm not letting I'm hearing this echo. Yeah, yeah, man. Remember we talked about this? It's coming together. The fact Shivraj is the mastermind behind getting us all together. He's got our the whole different deal going on with the email automations and things like that. Creating the community. He created a good community.
Awesome, sir. Awesome, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. That's
But
awesome.
I saw what you posted in there, so I went ahead and put it on here and talk about Pippin Run graduate Jamie. There you are, man. I need to
Yeah.
put, AKA cut the rope. Tell us about that trade. They with a 9 funded Apex account, locked and loaded.
Yeah, it was it's all about maximizing our efforts. It's hard for me to push a car, well, maybe not a car, but an SUV. But if it's 10 of us pushing that SUV, we've distributed out the weight evenly.
Mhm.
So we're just talking about moving mass production. We take the SAM club's concept, more for less, right? So if I make $10, and 10 people give me $10, well, I just made 100. So why not do that with 1,000? Why not do that? So now I made 10,000. So it's just all about just duplicating what you've taught us and just taking it to a higher level.
That's fantastic. When did you start with me?
Oh my God, Greg, we've known each other for years. Wow. And then, I had fell off and I still kick myself in the butt today with doing that, just to kind of explain what that means to everybody, if you don't mind.
Go
Uh,
ahead.
Greg actually offered me this opportunity years ago. And uh, I'm like, I'm not paying him that, and and, and I'm sitting up here, and it was about 2 years. It was about 2 years, and one day I'm sitting here in Saudi Arabia, and I look up at heaven. I'm literally just like, God, because I started making money, but it wasn't consistent. You know what I'm saying? I'm up, down, up, down, up, down, like at a Jay-Z
Mhm,
concert. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
And there was no consistency.
mhm,
And, in order to have consistency, you have to have mentorship because you understand you've got 30 plus years in this industry. So you've seen it all, a great deal of it. Let's rephrase that. So, and as soon as I did that, it was like minutes later, I get an email, Dr. Gregory McLeod, right? Now that email was not directly to me, but that email was for me. Does that make sense, everybody? If that makes sense, put 357 in the chat. It may not be directly to you or for you, but it is for you, right? Right? That's how our Father works, right? And I looked up and I said, really? And I know he just sitting up there tickle pink. So I called Greg on Skype and hey Jamie, and I'm like, hey Greg. I mean, I was just straight to the point, right? And I didn't ask how he's doing, how his family's doing, or nothing. I said, send me the link, Greg. He said, what? I said, Greg, I'm gonna say it one more time. If you don't, I'm about to disappear. And he said, okay, here you go. And I tell you, Greg and we've always been locked at the hip, but I had to get out of my own headspace and timing. Because this right here will mess up everything that's for you when you start putting your hands inside the pot, right? I had to have barbecues and all the women are in the kitchen cooking, right? And then somebody else want to kind of put some extra seasoning because it don't taste right to them. But see, it's not for them, it's for the masses. And that's what you have to understand. We're stewards in this industry. And we're stewards to our families. We're stewards to our church, with our community, to our organizations. So Dr. Greg, his daughters are adults, but he's still a steward because one day his daughters are going to bring forth what? Fruit called grandchildren, right? So he has to be a steward, to future children. So that comes up to that lineage. And, this all goes, again, it goes right back in that circle while having multiple accounts by maximizing and compounding your efforts. So that's our story with Dr. Gray, but we've been around each other for over 10, 15 years now, I believe, Greg.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, we were back in the day when we were with what was his name? Hot dog,
J Rock,
hot
Rock J.
Rod, yeah, Hot Rod or whatever the heck his name was. Yeah. That interesting gentleman. God bless him.
Yeah, he brought
But
us together. We wouldn't have been we
exactly.
would have been we wouldn't have been together unless we had if it wasn't for him. Right.
Right, right. And that's just a blessing within itself. So, to have those opportunities, sir, is just, you sit back now and I look forward to when I hang up my combat boots over here in the Middle East and able to come home and come down to Vegas and we're gonna go to that barbecue spot with them big giant tomahawks and Thor hammers, and so we can eat and sit back and laugh it off and probably take a nap after we
Oh,
eat all.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
that'll be fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And so how many people have gone through? I mean, tell me about because basically, I saw what you were doing. You were doing it for free. You're helping people. I said, look, you need to run a room and they need to pay you. And but the results you've had have because I teach them through the theory and give them live training, but you put them through the whole process. And
Yes.
so tell me about that. Tell people about what you do in live trading room in the New York session.
Well, basically, what we'll do is we'll just look at the markets and basically what I believe is something called TDA, top-down analysis. And we just look at the market and look at certain specific areas that the market goes to with the training that you have provided for us. And we literally dummy it down, if you will, to the lower time frames to maximize our efforts when we're trading. So as you have, put it as so simplistic as possible, we're pipping and running. We get in, we get out the market, and we capitalize on those gains. And we've gotten to the point now where we are putting a cap. So everyone that's in the room, you have to understand what your cap is. Before we even start trading, I need to know what's the amount of money that you're planning on making. If you're going to go ahead and lose a trade, how many trades are you going to lose? And how much money are you willing to risk? So, because that deals with the psyche. So, and it's interesting that you asked me that question. So, I'm going to let a little secret out. Guys, Pip and Run, in my opinion, is the best system that's there in all of Forex. Okay. You got all these other people that's doing things, supply and demand. Okay, you got it here. Okay, you want to do ICT. Well, guess what? We're doing it here. All ICT did was go back in time, find out all these great traders took their stuff because see, they didn't patent things back in those days, right? That was just getting started with patenting things, right? So he just did the same thing and just brought it here to the future or present time, and then he put his name on it. Wow. Who's the ripoff now? You know what I'm saying? So these aren't concepts. These are concepts that's been around for years. But what system works for you? That's the key. And I believe that Pip and Run is the most simplistic system that you can learn to put yourself in a position of power that you can make a difference in your family. So, what's the secret? The secret is you. Here. You have to let go of this. Yes, it's being somewhat zombieic, if you will, but it's the emotions that take us out of the game. You
Preach.
can learn ICT, support and resistance. You can higher highs, higher low, Hakanashi, Rinko. What was the one with the bar candles? I mean, and that's what Greg had taught me on. And I'll tell you, that was
Hakanashi.
the most difficult thing to learn was bar charts. But when I figured it out, oh, it made candlestick charts easy. It's you have to be willing to put in the work. Some people coming in here thinking, "Oh, I'm about to make $1 million in 5 seconds. I was the same way when I first started trading, and I lost $1,000 in what, 7 seconds. I didn't even know I lost it. It moved that fast because somebody was feeding me instead of teaching me how to hunt. Dr. Greg, he gonna feed you, but you better get, by the time you kind of get a little big, little extra weight, he gonna send you out there to the wilderness, and you're gonna have to start eating, fending for yourself because he's giving you the tools to make that happen. So transparent that over here to the group that we do on Monday through Fridays now. I kind of just went to Friday just to do it with no extra charge because it was normally Tuesdays through Thursdays. But now we went kind of like 5 days a week. And to just make sure that we're supporting each other as a community. So once you find out what you're, how much you're willing to lose, how much you're looking to make, we cut it off. Once we make the money, we're gone. We're done. I mean, Jermaine, he's doing excellent. We've had a couple people come and a couple people go. They feel that they got it. Well, that's fine. But what I will say is this: they always come back because they're missing that small ingredient. And that ingredient to make you a successful trader is to get outside what's in between your ears, and that's you. So the question of the hour is this, ladies and gentlemen. It goes out all the way out to the Pip and Run universe. Can you beat you? Ponder on that for a while and see what you come up with. But otherwise, Greg, if there's anything that you need, I'm always here. I'm not but a phone call away, even though I'm halfway on the other side of the world doing what I do for our country. But if there's any questions out there that maybe some people may have, I'll be glad to answer them if that's okay with you, or if you have any questions that I need to go over, I'll be glad to do that, sir.
Oh, great. Yeah, because I know you're kind of off on Fridays, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm off on
Yeah.
Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
sir.
I do this Friday, so why don't you join? I mean, this is actually how the plan was supposed to be anyway. You're supposed to be here. So,
It's that, we've had some issues over the last few weeks that kind of pulled me out of the net,
I understand. But
if you will.
this,
So,
this is the perfect time. But hey, the time, God's perfect time, his hand is in this. So, you come on and it's just perfect. I finally figured out how to put it side by side, but try to learn how to do that I just figured that out like about 5 seconds ago, right?
oh,
So,
really?
yeah.
Hey, trial and error. That's what we do, right? Practice
Exactly, right?
errors.
Fail
That's
forward.
right.
You
That's
fail
right.
forward, right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
and I think if you guys are finding it beneficial, give me five triple nickels in the chat box if you found this conversation. That my papa was a paratrooper in the triple nickels.
Oh, what? Are you serious?
Yeah, Pop Bell. Yeah.
I actually met one of the paratroopers from Triple Nichols. They live in Petersburg, Virginia. They are a real estate broker. I
Wow.
I can't think of his name, but when I was working as a Fed, I actually met him. He came and spoke for our organization, and it was just profound. So that's something else that your dad was part of the trip, guys. The triple nickel. There was some bad. You better shut your mouth, boys. Boy,
Mhm.
they did some damage,
Right.
and they were one of the pivotal reasons why we won the war.
Exactly. Exactly. We got the flag. We got the flag in the living room. When he passed away. Um, but
Wow.
very good.
That is history right there, Greg. That is,
Yeah.
man, my hat is off to you. I salute you and your lineage, your family. That's a blessing and an honor. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess that's the reason why we were able to connect so well. We just
Right.
have so much in common. But I never knew this guy in all these years that his dad was part of the
Yeah.
Triple
Yeah.
Nickel.
They're my grandpa earlier, but
His
Papa.
grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
grandpa. That's wow. Wow. Because there's only like one or two still left alive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to their website and I saw they got some things in there, but it's not really updated. It looks like a 1990s.
Mhm.
It's not been updated. But but yeah, this is This is an awesome getting it together. Will you be available next week around the same that
Yes.
time?
Yeah.
Same.
I'm going to be available all the way to the month of October, and then October I'm going to take some vacation time and kind of get my head right
Where
and
where do you vacation when you're already overseas?
I'll stop over in Dubai, for a week, and relax a little bit, pop up my feet, and relax, which is a good time of the year to go, or go to
It, it
Qatar.
it's cooler.
Oh, way cooler. Way, way,
Mm.
way cooler. It's anything after March, it's gonna be hot, and it's a different kind of hot. They talk about Arizona and Vegas and Texas, but when you get over here, boy, that heat slap you in the face, and trust me, that's something you don't forget, right?
It's like
Yeah.
wow, yeah. It got like 110 yesterday. Um,
Wow, that's cool
like
for me.
that's cool. I know. Yeah, right. So I go down south. I go to Texas now. Oh, it's so hot. Like it's like nah. It's like 117. I think my car, the car had 121 on it. It's like
And when you can fry an egg on it, boy, you know it's hot.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah. We did that. We did that here in Saudi Arabia. We literally cooked the egg right there on the ground, right?
Wow.
It was that freaking hot. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so
Speaking of hot, yeah, we think about bit. What's your take on Bitcoin?
oh, Bitcoin is bae. Oh my gosh. I mean, but if you know what I know, I'm looking for Bitcoin to do some strange things here very soon. So
They're
yeah,
gonna
I'm,
get.
I'm I'm looking for some strange things to
You
be
looking, you
happening.
looking for you looking for a pullback, or you looking for an
Oh,
extension?
I'm definitely looking for a drop. So
Okay, because I know I was looking at my market heat map. I was looking at sentiment, and the
mhm,
sentiment is extreme. It's like Bitcoin is
mhm.
like there's 70% of people who are long
Yes, yes,
and
yeah.
30% are
100%.
short.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm looking for the drop, and I'm gonna be like a fat kid eating cake. I'm just
Oh
sitting
my God!
there. I'm sitting there like Johnny Bench. I'm ready.
Uh,
I'm already set up.
you got the,
I'm
you got the, you
already
got the
set.
predictive function.
Oh yes, sir. Yeah, the function is functioning. Yes.
Predictive. That's how we forecast the market. Get four or
Yes,
five
sir.
bars to everybody else, right? That
Yeah.
gives us our edge. Yeah.
All right,
So
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah,
it's
well, I
very.
used that. I used our system, Greg, to catch NVIDIA when it was at the bottom.
Oh yeah, I saw it at 98. Told my, my daughter has Nvidia, but she's not a trader. She's gonna buy and hold, and she had
Mhm.
Nvidia. And she said, "Daddy, what am I gonna do? Nvidia's gonna." I go, if you got money, buy more. But
Yeah.
it's down. So DCA, baby. That's not the airport. Dollar
Right.
cost averaging. But
Mhm.
the other thing is the flip of that is that you never add to a loser. But it's
Mhm.
like Nvidia is not going to go anywhere. It's like the core
Yeah.
part of the AI. It's no, Palantir,
Mhm.
C3. There's C3 something AI that's military. Oh,
Yes.
Palantir doing
Yeah.
the yeah. Well, they
Mhm.
got you
Mhm.
got that.
Gaming laptops. They're the main people of what's going on right now, and just
Mining
phones mining. Yeah. I mean,
GUs. Yeah, so
everything
that's
is going. Yeah.
yeah. So I just said buy more. Now she's happy now in her portfolio. She's got, you can imagine like you're 22 years old and you got like a $10,000 portfolio. It's like, she's all happy and bounding, like going, oh, I can tell her mood. I can look at all you do is look at the index, and then I
Uh-huh.
look, and then she's like she's grumpy. I'm like going, market's down, huh? You need to stop watching it.
I'm watching it. Yeah, just let it go. That's long term. That's long
Yeah.
money. That's long money.
Right, right, right. I was telling you, I'm PTSD because of and between Enron and
Mhm.
and MCI and all
Yeah.
those Yahoo. I mean, back in the day, you get in those stocks, high flyers, they crash. You lose
Yeah.
everything, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
why I got Pip and I invented Pip and Run to like
Mhm.
get in,
Mhm.
get out. But I've got in and out of Bitcoin so many times. God, I wish I had held some of that bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I should have listened to my wife when years ago with Bitcoin. Man, she just looks at me. And when she get that look, I'm like,
Yeah, like
you
you're
go about to hear
disgust.
this 45-minute speech about Bitcoin. Shoulda,
Right.
coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda,
Look,
woulda. Bam,
yeah.
you know. There's always another train leaving the station.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an honor and a pleasure. Thank you. If you guys enjoyed Uncle Cut, you know, let me put what we're gonna put in the chat box. Give me what
Hey, in honor to your grandfather, triple
five
nickels,
triple nickels.
555.
555. Drop it in there, and tune in for coffee with Greg and Uncle Cut, or Uncle Cut and Greg. This is our program, and learn more about Pip and Run. And if you want to learn more about his service, this New York trading service, go ahead and you can reach out to us on school and the DM me just DM Cut Kutt, and I'll get you in contact with him. Okay. With that, we'll talk to you later. Peace and pips. Cheers.